All right, game one, we have Arms Warrior Resto Druid. For the most part here, I think we kind of have to try and kill the Arms Warrior, which requires us to survive a little bit. I hodge the R Druid out of stealth here, and we're just going to pop off, trying to do as much damage onto the Warrior as we can. I hit a Divine, I hit a Blinding Light, but a Divine Hammer breaks it at the last second, but it's just enough time for us to get out insane bursts. I did like 100k DPS right there, and just totally obliterated that Warrior. For the next game, we have another Arsham, Arsham Arms Warrior. A little bit of a tongue twister there for me. I'm gonna kill the banner here and start popping off. That Warrior is just teleporting everywhere. There's ground, so I can't just hodge. I'm gonna hold it and then get a full hodge onto the Arsham, swap onto him. He gets Veened inside of an Earthen Wall totem, so I swap out. I see that there's a counter strike, so I kill that and attack a Warrior. I'm trying to heal myself up a little bit. It's getting a little bit scary here. We still have wall on the Fury Warrior, so he's gonna probably push it right here, heal himself up. So I'm gonna focus on healing myself up, see if I can get away with not having to lay or bubble right here. We get some good pressure out, but get shockwaved by the Arms Warrior, so I'm gonna go ahead and bubble out and try and get a full blind on the healer. Healer does not have Trinket, but he is on stun DR. He links, kill the link instantly, and immediately swap back to the Warrior. I have to kite out for forbearance. I have about 15 seconds. He war breaks on me, so I'm getting in a real sketchy location here, but he doesn't want to follow because so is he, and his healer doesn't have any saves left for him. So he tries to swap on the Warrior, who does not have wall or rally. There's a counter-strike totem down. It can't hit me, but it can hit Warrior, so I kill it. And then now I have lay and bop back. I bop Warrior, stun the healer, and lay myself, and then we just go all in on the Warrior right here. I get a focus kick onto the Arsham, which should be enough to let us kill the Warrior. So a nice little extended win right there. Next game, we have Holy Priest, Assassination Rogue. This can be kind of a tough matchup for us because Assassination has such high single target damage and CC, and then they can also just MD off my bubble. We get a full spear onto the healer right there, and Ward also did reflect the healer stun. I get a blind onto the healer, and that's evasion and cloak out of the rogue. So we're gonna hit the healer for a little bit. The rogue doesn't have his damage really rolling on me too much, so I'm not super worried right now. There's death mark. I'm gonna immediately bubble it off and try and stop MD. I hodge the priest so he can't MD me into a half stormbolt, and then we swap back onto the rogue, who has no cloak or evasion, and down goes the rogue. For the next game, we have an Assassination Arsham here. I believe this was a loss, but it was pretty close, so I included it. I can maybe go over some of my mistakes here. So on the rogue here, kidneys me. He has his bleeds up. Already a little sketch. He death marks, so I'm going to go ahead and bubble everything off and kill the counter strike totem into a half hodge onto the Arsham here. Arsham static field totems and walls, but it doesn't get to move us. We get a shockwave onto the rogue, who cloaks. We trinket cloaks out of it. Cloak, by the way, now for those of you who have not been involved with WoW too frequently, now removes physical effects and gives a dodge. So it's like a second evasion. That's kind of insane. He drops a link. Now I have no forbearance left, so I'm gonna go ahead and bop right here. I'm in big trouble. Hopefully I don't get purged. But we are running kind of out of windows right here. My next cooldown doesn't come back for 17 seconds. That will be lay. I kick the lightning lasso, but I have no out for this, and we have rally. So if he rallies me here, and there's 8 seconds left on my forbearance, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and that's it. We would have won the game in 1 second. That's how close this game was. I could have maybe tunneled a little bit more damage, but I was trying to live that 1 more second so I could lay on hands, but unfortunately we had forbearance still, and it is what it is. Going into the next match here, we have a Assassination Rogue and a Resto Shaman. So a little bit of a rematch right here. I'm going to kill the Counter-Strike Totem. He lassos me full with the full kidney shot on Worried. There's Death Mark here, so I bop off the Death Mark. And I believe he also disarmed, so that works out pretty well. There's Tide. I'm going to focus on killing the Tide. He doesn't move it away. and then back onto the rogue, doing as much damage as we can. He evasions during the disarm and then gets feared off, but I think we're just going to swap onto the Archon because of the fear pathing right there. Just focusing on trying to keep my damage up. I half blind the rogue and then swap onto him here. I don't know why I targeted that that Earth Ellie is probably just trying to kill a totem. There's the counter strike totem there. I'm going to try and kill it around the corner. Killed it into a full hodge on the healer. He links. I'm going to work on trying to kill the Spirit Link totem. Get full blinded here. Offensive bubble out of the blind. We're just trying to get as much pressure as we can right here because there's no vanish, cloak, or evasion on the rogue and no link from the shaman. The only thing the shaman still has is his trinket here. Huge damage onto the rogue. Full bolt onto the healer. Proc the cheat death and we kill the rogue. All right, next match we have Feral Druid Disc Priest. Another tough matchup for us because of the way that Feral can just tank our damage in bear form in between our goes. And the Disc Priest also can get some pretty decent damage out. So I get a lucky consecration right as he opens, so I didn't get Rake Stun, which is pretty cool. We get a Shockwave onto the healer. Healer's full DR. Gonna look to stop clones. The Feral's not sitting in the barrier. Okay, Feral leaps back into the barrier and clones me full. On my go, I'm gonna sit this. Ward still has wall. He looks like he's impending victories right there. I'm gonna sack him, see if we can manage to avoid that, and then we just absolutely shred that Feral Druid at the end right there. All right, on to the next game. Our first encounter with a double DPS comp right here, Shadow Priest Survival Hunter. I have really not seen that, but just taking a look at it, I think we should just stomp this team. I'm gonna go ahead and sack into a double freedom here. Hodge on the mind games. He immediately disperses. I'm gonna make a swap onto the Survival Hunter and just try and go ham as much as we can. I kick the flash heal, swap back into the priest since he has no disperse. He should still have life swap, but he doesn't do it. And not that it really would have done much because the Hunter was also low. I think the Hunter played way too close that game. This game we have Unholy DK, Holy Priest. This is a kind of a tough matchup, and we also double stun the healer right there on the opener. Not ideal for us, but the DK IBFs anyway, even though we didn't really have too much stuns for him. That gets his wall out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and try and get as much pressure as I can out here while putting Blessing of Sacrifice on Ward and trying to kite away from the DK. He double grips me, triple grips me, and just trying to put pressure on him and make him line of sight his healer because his healer did the little spirit form. So I'm coming back here. I used Lay pretty early in the game, so I'm trying to live until my next Forbearance. And Ward has pretty good self-sustain versus DKs as a Fury Warrior. As he hasn't walled yet either. So I'm going to chill in the back, trying to bide my time until I can get a full Hodge right here onto the healer. And then we get a Wake of Ashes on the DK. I blind the healer out of my Hodge. And down goes the DK. All before Forbearance even came back. This was a tough match. So we have H-Pal Destro, one of the strongest combos in the game right now in the 3s bracket. We get a full bolt on the healer and a full Hodge on the lock. Pretty strong opener on the lock here. The healer pushes his wings and his sack and wall. And we just make a swap to him here. He's trying to Searing Glare. I missed my kick on the Searing Glare, which is my bad. So I try and line it, and I do. He drops a Bond of a Fell Bond, whatever. And has a lot of damage coming out. So I'm going to swap back onto him. I might have to bubble here soon, but I'm going to try my best not to. It's tough to avoid bubbling against locks when their portals are open because, you know, they're really not casting at all. It's just their portals ripping you apart. I get a nice Wake of Ashes stun on all the pets, and I'm going to try and see if I can make a recovery here without using a big cooldown. But it's looking a little unlikely. I get coiled here, which means I might have to bolt. Rally's going to fall. So Rally falls right as I bubble, which is super unlucky. I should have probably pushed Lay on Hands there instead for the bonus healing, the bonus percent HP healing, but it is what it is. I'm going to try and... Yeah, I should try and stop that Seduce, but I'm trying to run from the lock at the same time. I know that's something that we discussed after this game here. There's a dog packed by the lock. I get a full blind on the healer, but the pally bubbles. And does he lay there? Looks like he may have laid. Yeah, he bubble lays. A pretty good damage coming out here. I still have a couple of my defensives left. I get a Searing Glare on myself. I have wall. I push wall into a Shield of Venge. I have Spell Bop, and I don't have Forbearance. But I also have Lay, and I didn't think he really had any more damage coming here, so I'm just gonna try and relax, chill. There's another Seduce by the pet. I don't have any kicks. I laid right there, but it really didn't do too much. He gets bopped once again, and I'm just getting ripped apart by this shield here, unfortunately. So maybe I would have lived there if I chose Spell Bop instead of Lay. I'm not quite sure. He just had so much damage. All right, in this last game here is against Windwalker Mistweaver. I think the goal here is to probably just keep swapping between the two, like whoever doesn't have a defensive. So we're going to go ahead and open on the Windwalker. He pops his Serenity, so I'm going to double shield into a Freedom on myself and Worried. Worried fears him on the Serenity. I stun the Mistweaver, and we just go all in the Hodge, and he dies without trinketing or porting. All right. If everyone enjoyed commentary, feel free to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, Twitter, wherever. I know I don't really upload too many videos anymore, but it's kind of the end of the season, so I've been playing the arenas every now and then. So yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them below, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.